Hello, I'm Richard Kasubi, and my self-disclosure speech will be about a skill in negotiating that I didn't know I had and how that relates to the Johari window model. Over the course of my career, I've learned about a lot of skills that I never knew I could possess. I started out as an entry-level mechanic performing the most basic skills. I was basically hanging sheets of metal on big picture racks and running them through a paint booth. Now, I'm actually part of a leadership team that manages the most profitable program in our company. My current position is a direct result of a workshop that I led about 2 years ago during a cost savings initiative with our primary customer and one of our third-party suppliers. As I read through the Johari window model, it reminded me of this time in my career and almost everything that happened during the course of events in that workshop. The groundwork for the workshop was based on a quote from one of our third-party suppliers. We were contractually obligated to install some moisture barriers in the aircraft. The problem was it was going to be a significant cost increase. So we had to figure out a way to go reduce or negate that offset and make it a net engineering change for that moisture barrier. Now, up until that point, I had never had anything to do with negotiating sales or anything else, contracts or anything like that. So my background was in manufacturing and quality. I knew about what I knew, and I knew pretty much what I didn't know, at least I thought I did. So in the first part of the Johari model, it talks about open self, information about you that both you and others know. My leadership knew that I was a manufacturing quality focal, and so did I. So going into a sales or negotiating aspect was a little bit out of my realm of expertise. Now, during the course of the workshop, I knew there was a lot on the line, a lot of money. So it was important that I went in and succeeded in figuring out how to get the price of these moisture barriers down and into more absorbable quote from our third-party supplier. Now, nobody in the workshop knew that I had no negotiation skills. I was a manufacturing quality focal. Again, that's what everybody in there knew. So I had information about myself that nobody else knew, and I couldn't let them know because that was the whole point, was to be confident and be able to bring the price of those moisture barriers down. Basically, it was a facade. The model highlights hidden areas or facades, and facade was exactly what I was casting on to the group. Now, the primary reason for the cost increase and subsequent delays was a learning curve from our supplier. The workshop was held during a point in time where the supplier had been providing that same component for other parts of the aircraft, so their learning curve had come down. This was all made known during the course of the workshop. Now, as I used my manufacturing and quality skills to understand what was going on with the supplier and why they were hesitant in bringing the cost down at first, they now were over that hump. I didn't have to worry about it. So now I had a sizable advantage in negotiating the cost of that product. In the Johari model, the unknown self, information about you that neither you nor others know, all of a sudden I had a skill that I didn't know about. And so did everybody else, I guess, in the workshop, because I was able to go and start negotiating the cost of that product down. I pretty much stepped out of my focal lead for manufacturing quality to give the data and started working with the supplier to bring the cost of those moisture barriers down. Now, the Johari model covers feedback as part of the personal development journey. As I reflected on the workshop at the end, I had dinner with one of my managers, and we were reflecting on the workshop and its outcome. This was actually a good time for me to get that feedback to help develop any skills I had in program management. The interesting thing was my management knew that I had this skill, but just had to go get me in the right arena to go get it out. So looking at my blind self in the Johari window model, they knew about it, but I didn't know. So through the course of that workshop, I was able to apply all of my skills in manufacturing and quality to first, as we look at the open self, it's information about both you and others. So I knew what I knew, and I pretty much knew what I didn't know. And then looking at my hidden self, during the course of that workshop, I knew I didn't have the negotiating skills, or at least I thought I knew, and nobody else did. But I couldn't let them understand that, because then I could put put the negotiating in jeopardy. They could maybe get a leg up on me. Looking through the unknown self in the course of that workshop, I learned I had a skill, and so did everybody else. But going in, nobody knew any of that. And then at the end, looking at the blind self and how there's information about me that others knew, but I don't know. Leadership knew that I had that skill, and put me in that position to go improve my program management skills and make me a more well-rounded employee. So that'll just about cover my self-disclosure speech in negotiating, a skill that I didn't think I had, and it did. It launched me right into the position that I'm in right now. So thank you, and have a good day.